Awesome. He tweeted right before I went on over there with Phil, and it's incredible. We need to find out who it is, though, still. To this day, I don't know. Still think it's one of you guys, maybe. He's pretty accurate with his tweets, though, so it's impressive.
I guess going with what we were talking about before you got pulled away, I know you guys like to treat every week like it's the biggest one, but obviously the implications of this one matter so much more. That typically happens as you get through the season.
Right.
Do you guys feel the magnitude and the weight of this game weighing on you yet?
Not really. Our coaches do such a great job of, just downplaying the game, just making sure that we know it's just another game. But there are, exactly like you said, this is basically the divisional championship. With a win Saturday, they're going to bring in the trophy, and, we'll be playing in Charlotte. So we really just try and put that in the back of our minds. But like, they say, it's just another game.
Why not embrace the opportunity? I suppose try to just treat it like every other week.
Maybe with 39 freshmen, they're not ready for that. They don't want to, take that all in. So we're going to try and low play it as much as we can.
Eric, I know you were a redshirt in 2011, but the 3 years you've played, Florida State's won. How much does that motivate you to get a win here in your final season?
I think, a lot. Just in the couple of times that we played at their house, it seems like we won the game on the field. Just couldn't get it done on the scoreboard. But, that's what great teams do. They find a way to win. They just do what is necessary to get the W, and we didn't meet those standards the past 3 years. Obviously, in 2013, that was a huge just debacle here at home. I think that the moment was almost too big for that team. We weren't ready or mature enough at that time to handle the amount of energy. Game day was here, and all the hype that was around that game. I think it was just more of a distraction, and we let it play into their hands.
You went on the road last year. You were number one. You came out of the plays. That any one of the changes. Has that been brought up this week that you had?
Not so much. Coach Sweeney does a little bit of overview to where we kind of talk about, in the past and what's happened. And he just reiterates that, 5 or 6 plays, and we're right there beating them. So I think that that's kind of in the back of our minds, but we're not going to stress about it too much. We need to focus on Saturday.
Like the block for Mac Lain, who's such an aggressive runner and always falling forward and always fighting for that extra yard. As a lineman, I would imagine there's great pride in trying to help that guy.
Right, great pride, and it's a very easy job. We just have to block somebody for half a second, and Wayne's gonna, make us look very good. He's just running incredibly hard right now. I think he's probably a top back in the country. The way that he makes cuts, the way his vision is, just been demonstrated. He's really peaking at the right time right now.
He seems to always get to the second level or third before it's hit. Is that a sense of pride for you guys that he isn't touched?
No doubt. When you can get your running back to where, he can get to that second level. I'll take Wayne Gallman against anybody in the secondary any day. And, he'll get those extra yards that we need. And, it's just incredible to watch him play and progress as a player.
He's such a violent runner and seems to get better as the game goes on, the tougher the game. How would you kind of describe his level of toughness?
Just a fierce competitor, like you said. As the game goes on and people maybe get tired or weaken, he just gets stronger and stronger, it seems. It just speaks the way he practices. He goes hard all the time. We're in walkthrough, and coaches are having to slow him down and tell him to just calm down a little bit. So, Wayne's going to run as hard as he wants to.
I feel like maybe he's a little underrated. It just seems like it's a lot of distributed talk, and then if he piles up a bunch of yards,
Right.
The offensive line had a great day. And it seems like Wayne is never kind of singled out individually.
Well, I think they give him enough credit. He has his own nickname, the Wayne Train. But obviously, if he was anywhere else, probably with lower talented quarterback or wide receivers, he would get more love. But I think he's gotten enough for what he's done.
What would it mean to clinch the division title at home?
That we're playing in Charlotte on December 5th. But other than that, we still got a lot to do.
What does Florida State do year in and year out that makes them so tough to beat?
Just recruiting, obviously. They're a great program. They have great athletes in and out. They've just been really good. 2013, I saw somebody post a picture that all 11 of those players were in the NFL. Half of them were starting. 5 of them were drafted in the first round. So when you have talent like that on a college football team, you're going to be hard to beat.
You said Wayne gets enough credit on the team, you think, but what about on the national perspective? Or national level, it seems like there's a lot of talk about Dalvin.
Right. I think on a national scale, he doesn't get nearly the credit that he deserves. But, he doesn't really get as many carries as other people do. Sometimes I think that running back from LSU is in the 30, 40 area. And, Wayne averages, I think, around 20. So, he doesn't get as many opportunities, but he makes the most of those opportunities.
37 point loss 2 years
Definitely the home game. That was just obviously an embarrassment, to Clemson Nation and our families all across the place. We just, like I said, weren't ready for that game. There was so much energy, so much passion around it. I think that it got to be a distraction for us. But the leadership and maturity that I think we have on this team now, there's no situation that I think will be too big for this team.
How do you treat the playoff rankings tonight?
They're pretty irrelevant. Obviously, until December 6th, nothing really matters. Obviously, it's going to be fun. I'll be watching just to see the opinions of the committee. I find it very interesting to see how they rank up against the AP and the coaches poll. But other than that, they don't really matter except for, enjoyment and entertainment.
What would the enjoyment level be if you saw one tonight, even though it's meaningless, come up behind you?
I'd kind of be upset about that because I think that, guys would get a little big-headed maybe, when you see that number one beside your name. Best case scenario, we're number 5. They might as well cancel the game on Saturday if we're number 5 because they'll have no chance. The amount of disrespect and, energy that we would feel from that. So best case scenario, we'd be number 5 tonight.
I asked Joe about this yesterday, but on Saturday, the defense had trouble at times, and y'all just kept scoring and answering over and over and really carried the team. And then there was a game at Louisville where when the offense sputtered,
Exactly.
the defense really stepped up
Yep.
and handled the workload. Is that just happenstance? You think that it works out that way, or is there a certain mentality with this team that one unit is able to rise up to the occasion when the other units struggle?
I just think that's great testament to this team. We can rely on offense, defense, running the ball, passing the ball. It's great when we can, really help the defense out. There's been numerous times where they've had to bail us out, so it's been great to be on the other side of that and, just pull out a great team win.
What stands out about what Florida State does defensively?
Just a lot of athletes they have, like I was talking about. There's a great talent. They're kind of two-gappers similar to Louisville. But, when you get to third down, I think they're going to try and really confuse us and bring things that maybe we haven't seen this year. So it's going to be interesting.
We're starting to hear stories look at about this offensive line and the chemistry. Jake Guillermo apparently does impressions of Dabo on the box.
Who told you that? Can't speak on that. That's for Jake to answer only.
And Jay was saying yesterday that he makes the guys say I love you,
Oh, yeah.
on the sideline.
It's kind of weird.
Have you say anything yet?
We just try and keep their role to a minimum. Don't want to overbear them too much. They got school and, girlfriends at home to worry about. So, they're doing great. But really the chemistry that, this offensive line has developed is special. The love and appreciation that we all have for one another is second to none that I've been a part of. Just the way that coaches are handling and everything. They're just letting us kind of roll with it, and it's going to be special.
And I know that Ryan has meant a lot to this program. How much has Jay's reemergence meant to the offensive line and how well you guys are playing?
I think it's great when, you can have such a great player like Ryan go down and have someone else step right up. Obviously Ryan has been in Jay's ear all the time, right beside him whenever he needed anything. Ryan's great at being on the sidelines and looking at what the defenses do. He's going to be a great coach one day because he can just see things and pick it apart and really help us on the sidelines. So it's been great to have, his eyes out there. A lot of times when guys get hurt, they just kind of take themselves away from the game. But Ryan's been right there, doing the best of his ability and making the most of the situation he's in.
3 consecutive ACC Lineman of the Week awards for this team. None for you. Your
Oh, that hurts, man. You got to pull that out to everybody.
Your thoughts? When is one coming your way?
Hopefully, in the coming weeks. But it's just been great to see those guys just dominate the way that they've been doing. Really, I thought Joe Gore played phenomenally. I would have been really surprised if he wasn't the ACC Lineman of the Week. He just really dominated that game. He gave up no quarterback pressures. It seemed like he didn't have any penalties. So it's just great to see our guys get recognized and just get those honors.
In Clemson, hierarchy of hatred, I'm guessing State College ranked number 1. Where would Florida State rank?
They're a close second. Obviously this is a great rivalry game. We feel very passionate about it. Just excited to have them come to town for a big game.
Are you surprised that you're a bigger favorite against Florida State than you were against NC State?
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. But, I just think that speaks very highly to our fans and the amount of impact that this place can have on different teams. When you're away, maybe that takes into consideration, but, for a big touchdown plus lead that, they gave us in that ranking, that's pretty interesting.
Sometimes rivalries seem to foment quickly. This one's been around for maybe 30 years. Excuse me. Do you know anything about some of those classic games from the past, about the
Hunt Roosty and
Right.
prime time and all that stuff.
Not in a great content, but I know that there's been an incredible rivalry. Obviously here, I think it was 2010 maybe, where the whole valley was rocking "We Will Rock You." Just things like that is just added to that fire that just makes this such a great rivalry.
Did you watch growing up kind of the Tommy and Bobby games?
No. I was an SEC fan, so I didn't know anything about the ACC growing up. I'm very skewed to that. Thanks, guys.